the Lexington Minutemen. Thank you all for coming to witness our portrayal of the first battle of the American Revolution. On the field today are the Lexington Minutemen, His Majesty's 10th Regiment of Foot, the 1st Foot Guards, the 4th, 5th, 33rd, and 52nd Regiments, the Marines, and the 16th Light Dragoons. Before I paint the backdrop, I would like to thank the hard work of the men and women of the Lexington Police, Fire, and Public Works Departments, and the Lexington Historical Society, Town Celebrations Committee, and the town officials for their tireless efforts throughout the night and throughout the many years supporting this event. During the time, During the time since our last reenactment held last year, the Lexington Minutemen has lost 4 of its members. Richard Hart, Guy Hughes, Henry Murphy, and Dan Sabota, past captain commanding. In addition to those 4, just weeks ago, the reenactment community lost a notable member of many local colonial-era pipe and drum corps, drumming master Richard Ruquist. His true passion was marching and drumming in pipe and drum corps, which he did for 70 years. In the 18th century, the steady rhythm and spirited tunes of the pipers and drummers would help keep the soldiers' minds off the long and tedious march. But more importantly, pipes and drums served as a signal for the infantry, relaying commander's orders, and in the heat of battle, the drums provide nonverbal commands to keep order among the chaos. While the pipes may bring the melodies, the drum is the heartbeat. Dick portrayed William Diamond in this very reenactment for many years. As a piper, I've spent countless hours with Dick on the street, marching in parades, standing in ceremonies, and participating in pipe and drum gatherings. He was an inspiration, instructor, and mentor to many, including a young neighbor of his who himself has taken on the role of William Diamond. Upon the news of Dick's death, a fellow piper commented that he could always pick out Dick's drum beat, regardless of how many other drums were playing at the time. He was just that good. Although his beat will no longer be heard, he will remain in the hearts and minds of many of us when we hear colonial music, near or far. Please join me in a brief moment of silence for Dr. Dick Ruquist. Thank you. Along the theme of drumming, I would like to welcome to today's event a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution and direct descendants of William Diamond, Becky Gardapi from Spring, Texas, along with 14 members of her family, including her husband, children, and grandchildren. Thank you for making the long journey to be with us this weekend. We are honored to have you here. Now let me set the stage. It is now 1775. There are no paved roads. There is no flagpole, no statue, no Zoom meetings or daily wordles. This is a small rural town west of Boston, originally settled as Cambridge Farms, and was incorporated as the town of Lexington in 1713. As many of you know, in the years leading up to 1775, British Parliament imposed various taxes on its colonies. Tensions between England and the colonies grew steadily. King George III found it necessary to keep military forces in Boston to contain the colonists' resentment and to support the royal governor. In 1773, the Lexington Militia, also known as the Lexington Training Band, was formed under the command of Captain John Parker. They reaffirmed their resolve to fight for freedom and liberty by taking this pledge. We trust in God that should the state of our affairs require it, we shall be ready to sacrifice our estates and everything dear in life, yea, and life itself, in support of the common cause. By 1774, virtually every town within 50 miles of Boston had formed their own militia, or minute company, and took similar oaths. A few of the towns had also become storage depots for gunpowder and military supplies. The town of Concord, just west of here, was one of those places. On the night of April 18th, Paul Revere set out on horseback from Boston to alert local militia captains of the impending march of the British regulars. He also rode to Lexington to alert John Hancock and Samuel Adams, who were staying at the home of Reverend Jonas Clark, a short distance north of this common. There was worry that the regulars were coming to seize these two patriots. Along the route, Revere cried the alarm to villagers that the British regulars were on the march. Unlike popular belief, he did not shout out, "The British are coming," but rather, "The regulars are out." Paul Revere's speed on horseback could not be matched by the hundreds of British regular soldiers slowly plodding through the night as they steadily marched towards Lexington. Upon Revere's arrival in Lexington around midnight, Captain Parker ordered the sounding of the alarm bell in the belfry to notify the townspeople and militia of the imminent danger. Back then, the belfry stood here on the common, not far from the viewing platform. Townspeople appeared from their homes throughout the night and assembled here on this common. After much anticipation and delay, many of the militia members who had answered the alarm were allowed to retire. Those living close returned to their homes, some remained on the common, and several retired to Buckman Tavern, which you can see standing nearby. Throughout the night, Parker sent scouts on horseback on the road towards Boston to watch for the movement of the regulars. After Paul Revere had warned Hancock and Adams, Revere had spied a patrol of British officers on horseback heading towards Lincoln. This patrol spotted Revere and captured him, but they released him shortly thereafter, and he walked back to Lexington, where Hancock and Adams were preparing to evacuate Woburn and away from the column of British regulars heading this way. It wasn't until daybreak when Thaddeus Bowman returned on horseback to Buckman Tavern to warn Captain Parker that the regulars were indeed on their way and very close. As we begin the reenactment, this is the scene. Some militia members are on the common, and others are inside or around Buckman Tavern. Inside, Captain Parker anxiously awaits any news of the regulars and their whereabouts. You will see Thaddeus Bowman arrive on horseback and alert Captain Parker of the news. The captain will order the firing of the alarm guns. He will order William Diamond to sound the alarm on his drum. The militia will rally to the defense of the town and take up positions on the common. As the men are lined up on the common with news that the regulars were just down the road, Hancock remembered a trunk was left behind at Buckman Tavern, which were full of his private papers. This trunk contained names and other information of many of the revolutionaries of the time. Revere volunteered to retrieve the trunk. As the regulars advance onto the common, Parker's men show a mix of emotions: angry, confused, scared, and unsure of what may happen next. Several of the militia will push to the front in defiance, and others will retreat in fear. As the sides of the fort is bearing down on them rose in size, one of Parker's men, Nathaniel Mulligan, cries out, "There are so few of us. It is folly to stand here. It is is at this time when Captain Parker will attempt to steady his men and issue this command. Do not fire unless fired upon. Let the troops pass by and do not molest them without they beginning first. You can find a 19th century interpretation of this famous command engraved on a stone on the northeast side of the common. As the regulars ready themselves in battle formation, you will see British officers advance forward towards Parker's company and demand that the rebels disperse. In an attempt to pacify the rebels in their path, the British officers released militiamen from Woburn who were captured earlier in the night when spying on the regulars' advance. Suddenly, a shot will ring out. To this day, we do not know who fired first, and the first armed confrontation of the American Revolution will begin.
That's the shot. There you go. There we go. Oh, There's a musket.
Regulars are down the road. Stay out of your speed bump. Regulars are down the road. Captain, any more of the men? Company, to the right about. Peace. To the front. March. Take care. Go. Straighten the lines. Rest. Company, to the right about. Peace. Sergeant Monroe, have the men prime and load. Lexington Company, prime and load. Careful, muskets up. Careful. Company's loaded, sir. Further orders, sir. Roll. Gunman roll, call roll. Yes, sir. Company will sound their name from the front rank, left to right. Sound off.
Nathaniel Wyman,
Ensign Robert Monroe.
William Diamond,
Reverend Jonas Clark.
Nathan Monroe,
Samuel Hadley.
William Grimes,
Amos Merritt.
Corporal Joel Miles, John Robbins, Jedediah Monroe, Dave Brown, Jonathan Harris.
Roll is called, sir. Thank you, Sergeant. Kirk Word. The regulars are down the road. Here's some troops. Stand your ground. Company, support your firelocks. Stand your ground, men. Troops will pass by.
Nope, see, look, here comes the guy. There, you can see everything I can see. The guys.
Company. Shoulder your. Let. Firelock. Hey, Grove.
The regulars, I see them.
Is Paul Revere and John Hancock's assistant carrying John Hancock's laptop.
Hey, man.
Here we go. Here's the Brits.
Line, man. Stay in line. Disperse the rebels! Return to your homes! Disperse them, you! Captain Corson! Surround these men! Seize their arms! Steady, men! Hold your ground! Battalion! To the front! Back! Front! Take care! Hold! Steady, men! Lead your fire! Front! Press that line! Press! Press back in the line, press. There you go, there you go. Down your arms and return home. Lay down your arms! You won't get my gun! My God, sir, we'll have them all! Battalion! Fix your bayonets!
Fix your bayonets.
Ready, men! Hold your arms! Officers! Stop! Parsons, I told you to control your men! Damn you! Look what you've done here! This isn't space! Gentlemen, our orders are to continue on to Concord. I don't know what is in front of us. Should we return back to Boston? No. Very good. Lieutenant Ranks. Battalion! Ryan and loud! Make ready! Freezing! Elevating! Fire! Left back, fire lock! Junior! Fire lock! Shut! Stand! Sergeant Major! 3 cheers for His Majesty! 3 cheers for His Majesty King George! Get that? Battalion will advance! By companies! From the right! By the center! Advance! Face. Flag! March!
colonists lay dead and 9 are wounded. Villagers, family, and friends have gone to give aid to the wounded and grieve over their loved ones. All are stunned at what just happened here. The regulars continued their march to Concord, 8 miles to the west. By the time they arrived later that morning, numerous militia units were waiting in defiance of the regulars' advance, and the regulars were forced to retreat back to Boston. Before the day ended, 49 colonists and 73 regulars lay dead, and 41 colonists and 174 regulars were wounded. In Lexington, we will always honor the memory of these very first casualties of war, who gave their lives for their country in the first battle of the American Revolution. They are Jonas Parker, Samuel Hadley, John Brown, Isaac Muzzy, Caleb Harrington, Asa L. Porter, Robert Monroe, and Jonathan Harrington Jr. 7 of these fallen are buried here under the granite obelisk located on the knoll on the west side of the common. This is the oldest memorial of the Revolutionary War. Shortly, you will see the Lexington Minutemen assemble and prepare to march to the old burial ground, just behind the first parish and the back of the common. There, they will fire a salute over the resting place of many of those who fought here 248 years ago. As they offer the salute, they also commemorate the moment when later that day, Captain Parker sought his revenge on those who inflicted harm on his men. With the smell of gunpowder still in the air, their neighbors and brothers dead in the wake of the morning battle, and knowing the size of the force they faced that morning, this small militia bravely marched towards Concord to meet the British column once again. They marched resolutely, motivated by the idea that freedom was within their grasp. Lexington's town seal includes the phrase, "What a glorious morning for America." Although lives were lost that day, these words honor those that sacrificed everything, yea, and life itself, in support